On a warm May evening, two teams in top form meet in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. 901 FC is unbeaten in its last four, and the perennially tough Pittsburgh Riverhounds are unbeaten in their last 7 league fixtures. It's Saturday Night Soccer in downtown Memphis. It's up next. Good evening and welcome to the excitement of USL Championship Soccer from AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. Two teams in top form meet tonight, Memphis 901 FC and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And we welcome you inside the broadcast booth. I'm Pete Pranica. He's J.J. Greer, former University of Memphis soccer star. Both these teams got off to scuffling starts, but they have both found good form lately.
Absolutely. 901 FC started really struggling. Took 5 defeats on the trot. Now, as you said before, Pete, they're unbeaten their last 4 matches. They fought their way from near the bottom of the table. Now they're in playoff position at 8th place. It's going to be a really important night tonight for 901 FC to continue to push for the playoffs.
Pittsburgh, only 10 goals scored this year. Danny Griffin has 2 of those 10, and both of them have come from the spot.
The 25-year-old midfielder from Springfield, Massachusetts. He's the Riverhounds Iron Man. He's played in every minute of every USL Championship match this season. 10 matches, 10 starts with 2 goals, as you mentioned, Pete, from the PK spot. He's the metronome for the Riverhounds in central midfield, keeps the ball moving. He gets all over the pitch offensively and defensively. 901 FC will need to keep Griffin in check to have a shot at 3 points tonight.
Pittsburgh, a very aggressive team on both ends of the pitch. Meanwhile, for Memphis 901 FC, there is no player in better form, I don't think, in the championship than Marlon. He's got 4 goals and 5 assists in the last 4 weeks.
You got that right, Pete. The 29-year-old Brazilian striker has been on a heater the last 4 matches, multiple goals or assists in each of the last 4 USL Championship games. Those performances have earned him Player of the Week for Week 9 and Team of the Week for Weeks 9 and 11. He's up against a stingy Pittsburgh defense, but 901 FC will need to continue to get him the ball in dangerous areas to get the victory tonight at AutoZone Park.
He had the equalizer at El Paso last weekend and then assisted Bruno Lapa on the match winner. Pittsburgh Riverhounds have never lost a soccer match in the state of Tennessee. They're 3-0 here at AutoZone Park. We're back with the starting 11s and the opening kick in a moment. Now the kids are out tonight. 901 FC returns home after 2 road matches as they return home to take on Pittsburgh Riverhounds. You see the records there, 3-4 for the Riverhounds. They lost their first 3 in a row. They have responded by going unbeaten in their last 7 in league play. They're going to start their second keeper, Gabriel Parada. He's making his 3rd start of the season. Look out for Keziah Sterling up top. He has 3 goals. Kizza has 3 goals plus an assist. And head coach Bob Lilly, one of the best. And in fact, he was the championship coach of the year last year. For 901 FC, they are unbeaten in their last 4. As JJ pointed out, they endured 5 straight losses earlier in the season. Here's the 901 FC lineup. Marlin up top. Dylan Borzak is in the starting 11 tonight. Also is Samuel Carriaga and Luis Fernando. They are up top. There is one notable absence in the 18. Bruno Lapa is not in the 18 tonight. He's been healthy, but I believe he's going to be held out for rest. There's been a lot of rigorous travel as Memphis has gone to Monterey Bay and El Paso Locomotive in each of the last 2 weeks. A draw at Monterey Bay and a stoppage time winner by Lapa at El Paso last Friday night. Glad you're with us for this matchup. These 2 teams were bitter rivals when they were both in the Eastern Conference. Memphis has since relocated to the West with some league expansion. Memphis got their first ever win over Pittsburgh last year, and that was at Highmark Stadium. I'd alluded to the fact the Riverhounds are unbeaten in the state of Tennessee. They're 3-0 against 901 FC in this facility. They played Nashville when Nashville was a USL side twice, and Pittsburgh drew with them twice. Zach Duncan along the touchline, and a foul, or rather a throw-in for Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh in their yellow kits, and that is out intended for Langston Blackstock. Memphis, as I said, JJ, coming off a 2-1 win at El Paso. Beautiful stoppage time goal to get the win and all 3 points.
This evening, Pete, could be a much different type of match. Right now, you can see the Riverhounds pressing up pretty high. They start off with 5 in the back, and they'll probably finish that way as well, as head coach Bob Lilly loves to have a very defensive-minded team. They like to really kind of, not so much park the bus, but really have a defensive shell and then get out in the counterattack and also look for set pieces as well. But tonight, they're pressing pretty high up the pitch.
They will be physical. And as a result, what 901 FC wants to do, they're either going to try to go over the top or go around. They want to make sharp, crisp decisions with the ball and not work themselves into Pittsburgh's pressure. Their defensive pressure, speaking of Pittsburgh, is absolutely remarkable, and it always has been. That is a hallmark of a Bob Lilly coached soccer team. This is Akeem Ward up the touchline for Borzak. And Ward battling for it, but it's taken away by Blackstock. Blackstock now a turn by Sterling. Sterling, and he is run off the play by Lucas Turchi. Here's Luis Fernando. 901 FC trying to mount a counterattack here. Now wide, now down the touchline. That's well played and intercepted by Luke Biasi, and he earns his club a throw-in here in the 3rd minute.
Yeah, you mentioned it early. This Pittsburgh Riverhounds team is a very difficult team to break down, especially through the middle, through the midfield, and through that heart of that defense. I mean, 5 defenders, very difficult to break down when you basically have 3 center backs, right, that like to sit. But if 901 FC can find a way up and overs, we got a potential chance here.
And Turchi with a step in front against Keziah Sterling. Sterling, an England native, had been playing with South Georgia Tormenta, wearing the number 45 shirt for Pittsburgh. Get a look at Stephen Glass on your right, manager of 901 FC, 2nd season here in Memphis. Caleb Patterson-Sewell, the assistant sporting manager, to his right. And a high boot and player down. Velimir Stefanovic is the man in charge of the match tonight, assisted by Austin Holt and Siyun Yinka Tenhinde. As you look at Bob Lilly, twice the USL Coach of the Year. Long successful career with the Rochester Rhinos and now in Pittsburgh, 7th season with the Hounds and the winningest manager in team history.
These teams always have an identity, and it's usually the same identity. I mean, he molds the team to personnel he has.
Ball's whipped in, and then it's headed out, and that will be the first corner kick of the evening, and it will belong to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Turchi got his head on it. As you look at Tyler Derrick, and JJ, I've had the chance to go to training several times this week, and I am more and more impressed with Tyler Derrick every time I see him with his shot-stopping ability.
Such a solid goalkeeper. Pete spent a lot of time in the MLS, the top league, of course, in the United States with the Houston Dynamo.
Ball whipped in, and Turchi is able to head it away. Then a delivery in. Derrick making a tough catch under a little bit of pressure. Derrick only one clean sheet on the season, but a .690 save percentage. And he has made a number of crucial stops throughout this season.
And that's exactly it, Pete. Making the stops when it matters most, right? When the game is hanging in the balance, whether you got a 0-0 or 1-1 game, it can all come down to a moment. You might, a keeper might not see a shot all game, but if you can make that save when it matters, you can spur your team on to potentially get the game winner.
Sissoko going for a long ball. Borzak trying to run it down, shouldered away by Pat Hogan, and Borzak wins a corner for 901 FC.
And that's exactly what you're going to get from Dylan Borzak. You see him clapping his hands. You saw the pace with which he was running. He's a workhorse speed. He's always going to be there. He's always going to put his team in good position just with sheer work rate only. And I just love the combination of Dylan Borzak and Marlon Santos up top.
Borzak in his 3rd season with 901 FC. This will be Jimenez to trigger the corner kick. Outswinger. Memphis can't get ahead to it. Borzak was in the middle of the mixer. This is Emerson Hindman. Now playing it back to Akeem Ward. Ward wearing the captain's armband at the moment. It's a good switch by 901 FC because, again, if you get near the touchline, Pittsburgh is going to try to pin you against that touchline. This is settled by Marlon. And there you see 3 yellow shirts. As soon as they see the ball, they swarm.
And Pete, I would have loved to have seen 901 FC put that ball back into the box. As soon as you start passing the ball backwards and sideways, you give Pittsburgh a chance to put all 11 men behind the ball, as you see now.
Turchi chips this for Fernando. Headed away, settled by Marlon. His shot into goal! Marlon does it again! His 5th of the season, and Memphis gets the breakthrough in the 7th minute.
Fantastic goal by Marlon Santos. Took it off the half volley there, one touch. Not too much of a backlift, and boom, into the bottom left-hand corner. What a goal that was by Marlon. But Pete, you mentioned it earlier, the long ball that was off the diagonal from Lucas Turchi into the box. And then Marlon picked up, I believe it was the 2nd or 3rd ball, and just swung that thing right to the back of the net. What a finish that was by Marlon Santos.
Wow. Last year played in Israel on a transfer from Birmingham. He'd been on the other side of Southern Harm, and boy, has he made himself a new home here in Memphis. And 901 breaking out on top. You get another look at it. Beautiful long ball. Marlon settles it and sends it to the back of the net.
The heater continues.
Well, it's been a tactical change by 901 FC. Stephen Glass put him in more of a central position, and he has really excelled there with all of his goals. So that's 5 goals and 5 assists in 4+ weeks. And as you see, he leads the team in both categories. That's knotted down. Sissoko. Duncan along the touchline. Flipped on. But Luke Biasi is there to chase it down for Pittsburgh.
Marlon is such a versatile attacking player as well, Pete. We've seen him play out wide. We've seen him play the number 9 position. He's done both spectacularly, and it was really such an important goal. That first goal against this Riverhounds team, Pete, is just so important because oftentimes this team is so hard. This Riverhounds team is so hard to break down. So now you get the goal, you might force them out of their shell a little bit and might get another opportunity to score.
Memphis has been good early. Of their now 17 goals, 8 have been scored in the first half hour. And I believe 4 have been scored in the first 15 minutes of matches. Hyndman, tracked by Sample. Duncan slips it through, just got off the boot of Marlin. Sterling was looking to turn with it. And that will be out for a Pittsburgh throw.
Saw the ball movement there, though, Pete. Lots of tiki-taka passes back and forth. We see the replay here. Marlon picking up that second ball. One-touch finish. Boom, striking. You see the goalkeeper, Peralta, yelling at his defense, hey, guys, pick up the second ball and give it some pressure, but it's really hard to stop that man, Marlon Santos.
Chip ahead. There's Marlon. Deft ball that was intercepted by Biasi, trying to link with Fernando. And Marlon run off. This will be a foul to Memphis. Marlon got a fresh cut this week, and doesn't matter what the hairstyle is. The technical ability, unquestioned, and certainly a contender, one would imagine, for the championship player of the month for the month of May.
You know what they say, look good, play good. I think he looks really, really good.
For Pittsburgh, they are off a 1-1 draw with North Carolina. Edward Kizza broke them on top in the 44th minute. But Edward Conway equalized just shy of the hour mark, and that is how that match ended. This is Sean Suber. And that clearance is going to win Pittsburgh their second corner kick of the night.
901 FC will have to stay focused, especially on these set pieces. This is where the Riverhounds are very, very dangerous. Guys like Pat Hogan, the number 3, the center back for the Riverhounds, very dangerous. Tall center back, a big aerial threat for the Riverhounds.
It'll be Bradley Sample to take the corner kick, making his 4th start of the season. See Stephen Glass trying to get the defense organized. Outswinger headed. Oh, and then a save. Was that Borzak that got to it?
Looked like it was.
Sample. Cariaga. Good defensive work there. And Turchi will concede a throw-in to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh with a big chance there that they did not convert. Again, Turchi defensively, and Memphis eliminates the pressure.
Yeah, you see that was Pat Hogan, the man we mentioned earlier, the big center back, the number 3, just going right over the back of Hakeem Ward. And yes, that was Borzak that just cleared that ball right off the line. It was just out of reach for Tyler Derrick. Excellent defensive effort from Dylan Borzak.
This is Langston Blackstock. And Memphis winning the throw-in. Borzak was dealing with a left ankle issue, but clearly fit enough to play. Fernando trying to run this down. Biasi cuts him off.
It's good defense there from Biasi.
Danny Griffin. A long dribble into pressure, and he's dispossessed, but a foul given. And I think we may have we have a card coming here is the question. And Sissoko is shown yellow.
And Pete, that could be a really big play there for multiple reasons. The Riverhounds are in a dangerous area here, as you see Daniel Griffin, the man we mentioned in the pregame, stretching his legs a bit there, dribbling past a couple players. So the Riverhounds are now in a dangerous area, about 35 yards out from goal. We'll probably see a crossing opportunity, but Sissoko, the center back right there, number 91 for 901 FC, picks up the yellow in the first 15 minutes of this match. Could be very difficult for him to finish this match.
So opportunity here for Pittsburgh in the 14th minute. Marlin striking in the 7th minute for Memphis to give them the lead. Going direct and right to Tyler Derrick. Not much danger there. And a squandered opportunity by Pittsburgh.
It's going to take way, way more than that to beat Tyler Derrick. You saw him put the hand out. Just everybody settle down, calm down. I got this. See on the replay here, a set piece opportunity that plays drawn up straight from the training ground, but the strike wasn't quite what Daniel Griffin wanted.
And Dylan Borzak wins a foul. I mentioned Borzak dealing with a knock to the ankle. New trainer Langston Smith working very, very hard with him to get him ready for action tonight, along with head of sports science Leandro Spinola. They have done a really, really good job keeping this team very fit. Sissoko with the interception and now wins it in the air. Well done by Sissoko. Borzak, long ball. Marlin trying to track it down. It's loose. And Parada able to get to it and clear it away from danger, keeper to keeper.
What a clearance that was from Parada. 18-18, but you see the pressure that Marlon Santos puts on the center back. Pat Hogan there just kind of goes right underneath him, but no foul at all. And Parada did well just to get a touch on it and then just booted the ball right down the pitch. But that man Marlon Santos, he's very, very dangerous in the attacking third.
Parada, the keeper for Pittsburgh, making his 3rd start. Another in a succession of really good keepers coming out of the Marshall University soccer program. Eric Dick is the primary keeper. He had started the other 8 matches for Pittsburgh. But Parada getting the opportunity tonight. And foul is given, won by Cariaga. Pittsburgh last year winning the Players' Shield, the league best 19-5-10. But no postseason success for them.
Saw a foul there on the Riverhounds midfielder, but Pete, you mentioned it. The season ended last year in disappointment for the Riverhounds. Yes, they won the regular season, but this league, it means nothing with the playoff structure. And this year the Riverhounds starting off a little slow, but the same goes vice versa as opposed to last year. If they end up making a deep run in the playoffs, it'll all be worth it.
The season is so long. There will be ups and downs, and one of the great strengths of this 901 FC team is that their mental state has remained steady, even after enduring 5 straight defeats.
And you can see the talent from the team. There's some, you had to replace a lot of really good attacking talent, defensive talent as well. This 901 FC team did. And they reloaded from a talent perspective, but it took a little bit to get on the same page. And unfortunately, they were conceding goals and not scoring enough goals, although they were getting chances. But the past 4 or 5 matches, we've seen them put it together both offensively and defensively.
Their conversion rate has increased from 12% to 15%. Borzak, he's taken down. And Suber with the whistle. And a quick restart by Memphis. Memphis will get a throw in here. Emerson Hyndman was trying to link up with Akeem Ward on the left flank.
Pete, you can see Bob Lilly almost outside of his coaching box there. This is the most I've ever seen him, the most active I've seen him in a long time. He probably doesn't like what he sees, especially being down 1-0 with 901 FC getting probably a few too many chances for his liking.
Pittsburgh winless in their last 6 when they concede the opener. Hyndman trying to go directly to Borzak. Settled by Marlin. Borzak chips it in, and Fernando can't get to it. And cleared by the Riverhounds. Memphis again putting great pressure. Luis Fernando with an opportunity in the 19th minute.
Pete, you mentioned earlier, a lot of this pressure is coming from pretty direct balls, diagonal balls and crosses into the box. Not a lot of keeping the ball on the floor and lots of 1-2 passes. It's pretty direct soccer from 901 FC, and they're getting success out of it.
Borzak, lovely chip. Parada came out to play it, and Fernando brewing an opportunity missed.
Yeah, great touch there from Parada. He was brave, stuck that left fist in there, got just enough of a touch, or else that was going to be in the back of the net for at least Fernando goal.
Parada, native of Paraguay. Ward working against Blackstock, who lays it back. This is Suber. And Pittsburgh will recycle through Pat Hogan. Marlin in the 7th minute to give Memphis the early advantage. Junior Etu. That's blocked by Zachary Duncan. And the throw-in awarded to Memphis.
It's great defense there from the number 6 right there, Zach Duncan, the holding midfielder. Even though he also plays like a number 8 as well, he gets all over the pitch, just has unbelievable energy reserves.
We've talked about the defensive intensity of Pittsburgh. Their other trademark, they go forward at all times. There is no backing up for them. It's the old General Patton keep moving forward theory.
And they're a veteran team as well. Just because they're a goal down does not mean they're going to give up by any means.
And now a cross, and that's deflected out by Jimenez. And another corner coming for the Riverhounds.
Really dangerous moments for 901 FC. They're withstanding a lot of pressure right now, but the more set pieces, the more corner kick opportunities and free kicks within 30 yards that 901 FC gives up, obviously really increases the chances of this Riverhounds team scoring.
Third corner won by Pittsburgh. See Sterling in the box. In swinger, Garrick, a powerful punch out. Recovered by Biasi. This is Rovira. He and Marlin tangle. Kizza. Hogan flaring it out. Suber. And Jimenez will run it down for Memphis. Memphis with 60% of the possession so far. They have been the more accurate passing team as well. Accurate passing is one of the areas in which Pittsburgh has struggled this year. They're at the bottom of the league in terms of passing accuracy.
Really, Bob Lilly, it's just not his style of a foul here. Really good feet there from Blackstock. See the little Iniesta move, touch right around Akeem Ward, who takes him down. 901 FC giving up a lot of fouls in the final third, which gives the Riverhounds a great chance to lump balls into the box. But to your point earlier, Pete, in terms of the passing accuracy, Bob Lilly not so much concerned with a lot of passing. He wants to get the ball forward and score as often as possible. You see Akeem Ward there just take down Blackstock. He doesn't like when people get past him, Pete.
He does not. Ward plays with a feistiness. And Akeem Ward is getting some words from Velimir Stefanovic, our referee tonight, Danny Griffin. It is second season of his second stint with Pittsburgh. Whips it in. Hit it out. Edward Kizza. Ball whipped in. And again, Memphis is there defensively, but trying to win possession back, they are unable to do so. Pittsburgh lost its first 3 of the season. They have gone unbeaten in their last 7 in championship play. They did lose to FC Tulsa in U.S. Open Cup play in the midst of that run. Sent it for Kizza, and he sends it wide.
Good. I think Tyler Derrick had that covered there. He was in a great position at the near post, but Kizza just whipped that ball across the box. For a moment there, it looked like it could have been destined for the far post, for the top corner. There is a lovely entry ball there from Atu, I believe, and you can see the left foot there from Kizza just gets past the hands of Tyler Derrick, but I believe he had it covered.
Kizza, 3 goals and an assist this season, 3rd season with the Riverhounds. This is Lucas Turchi, one of 4 Brazilians for 901 FC. Another direct ball intended for Marlon. He loses his footing. Fernando with the tackle attempt.
See Bob Lilly up. You can hear the audio there telling his team to get in the box. I think this is the most demonstrative I've seen Bob Lilly in a long time. He sees his team is down. He's directing traffic back there. But so far, we've got a really great match. A lot of fire in this match. See the Riverhounds, they're not just rolling over by any means just because they're down a goal.
I think if you play any sport in Pittsburgh, if you're not blue collar and hardworking, I don't think it works. And that's how Pittsburgh continues to play. Very aggressive. They've already had 30 passes in the final third. And now here's a takeaway. Marlon is tackled. Fernando settles it, and Marlon remains down. And now we'll get a whistle and a stoppage as Memphis will need to take a look at Marlon.
Look, there's a big challenge there. Collision there between Luke Biasi, the center back for the Riverhounds, and Marlon. Biasi got ball first, but definitely followed through on the slide tackle. Looks like you got a chunk of Marlon's knee there. Marlon kind of rolling around, but hopefully he'll be okay for 901 FC. Of course, he's such a key attacking player, if not the attacking player for 901 FC. You see on the replay here, Marlon trying to touch it right past Biasi, but Biasi gets a great touch on the ball, and Marlon right away goes down, clutching his knee, but fair challenge there.
So Langston Smith, the new athletic trainer for 901 FC, he's got the spray.
Nothing some magic spray can't fix.
Nothing some magic spray can't fix. Before I had my back surgery, I discovered the magic of magic spray.
Yeah.
It helps.
It's like WD-40 for the body.
It really does.
Just throw some magic spray on it. You'll be good to go. Take the creaks out.
Well, we'll tell you that coming up on Wednesday, May 29th, Monterey Bay FC takes on Eastern Conference leader Charleston Battery. See it at 10 o'clock Eastern on the CBS Sports Network. J.J. Greer, Pete Pranica with you here from AutoZone Park in downtown Memphis. And the value of Marlon goes up even higher tonight with the fact that Bruno Lapa is not in the 18 tonight. Lapa with 4 goals on the season. And Marlon now with 5 as the team leader.
Marlon, such a unique attacking player as well, because the work rate that he brings along with the pace. And of course, he's a sharpshooter in terms of his finishing, especially lately. He's doing a right foot, left foot. And he doesn't need any backlift hardly at all. He doesn't need a lot of space to fire off a rocket of a shot, as we saw earlier in this match.
And from a drop ball situation, Memphis puts it back in play, waiting. And also Sterling is off momentarily. Didn't see the reason for that for Pittsburgh. And Duncan is dispossessed. Opportunity here. Blackstock is a free runner, and now Duncan takes it back. Here's Marlon. Marlon in space. Marlon into the 18. Marlon shooting, and it's saved by Parada.
Marlon was called back onto the pitch and right away was sprung into action there by Zach Duncan, who had a lovely touch there right around the Pittsburgh Riverhounds defender. And, man, I thought that one was going to be in, Pete.
There's magic in that spray. Jimenez will concede the throw-in. Kizza was closing. And you see Duncan, great touch there. And a beautiful ball to Marlin.
I'll tell you, it's good enough defending as well from Pat Hogan. He waited till the very last minute before he slid. Although he didn't block the shot, he still did enough just to delay Marlon Santos.
Fernando. Duncan battling for it, and Duncan's going to get whistled.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty harsh call there from Stefanovic on Zach Duncan. Looked like he got a lot of ball in that challenge. As we'll see the captain, the skipper for the Riverhounds, standing over it once again. The Riverhounds have had a ton of set-piece opportunities and have yet to capitalize in the first half hour.
Duncan, in his first season here with Memphis, was playing in Denmark, a native of Australia. You got Hogan to the right of your screen. I'm going to go short with it. Kizza crossing, back post. Oh, and nearly an own goal. And now it is settled. That shot does not get through. Settled again. Shot blocked again. Borzak sends it to the touchline. It'll be a Pittsburgh throw-in, but Memphis absorbing a ton of pressure and nearly an unfortunate bounce that could have resulted in an own goal.
Now I want to see very fortunate. Sissoko's got to be thinking that post right there, the far post. He didn't know much about it. So what do we have here, Pete?
And now we're going to have a yellow card to Jimenez.
It's like we're standing right outside the box. Oscar Jimenez and 901 FC very fortunate that wasn't just a few yards north right there, which would have been inside of the box. You see the replay here on the near own goal from Sissoko. He didn't know much about it. Hit right off his left foot in that far post. Saves his life at 901 FC.
And Jimenez arguing his case, but he and Sissoko are on yellow cards.
And Pete, they're both on the right-hand side of the defense. So you got 2 yellow cards for your entire right-hand side of the defense, your right center back and your right winger, or excuse me, your right back.
Just past the half-hour mark. Marlin in the 7th minute, breaking the home club on top, but multiple dangerous opportunities for Pittsburgh. Kizza and Sterling are in the 6-yard box. That goes direct, and it's punched out by Derrick. Corner kick, Pittsburgh.
Great touch there from Tyler Derrick. That one was absolutely whipped to the near post from Danny Griffin. We've seen him standing over a lot of set pieces, and he's starting to get more and more comfortable, as we saw on that opportunity right there. Just whips this one to the near post, and a great right-handed touch there from Tyler Derrick.
Outswinger, and Derrick commanding the area.
Commanding the area indeed. That's what you want from your veteran keeper. So capable, so talented. 901 FC right now absorbing a ton of pressure, but Tyler Derrick standing back there and standing tall, just relieving a lot of that pressure for 901 FC.
Just to give you an idea of how active Pittsburgh has been, you see the shots and the shots on target. Pittsburgh has already had 9 crosses and 4 corners, and a number of free kicks in dangerous areas, but Memphis has been able to absorb the pressure and have not conceded. Hyndman has it taken away. Sterling, numbers forward for Pittsburgh. Sterling tracked by Hyndman. Now Rovira trying to link with Kizza, and it will be a goal kick for 901 FC. As we tell you, Select is the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice.
So we've been saying that, Pete, for probably the past, 10 minutes, how much pressure 901 FC have been absorbing, which, of course, you're playing with fire once you absorb so much pressure and foul so much in and around the attacking third. But the Riverhounds, Pete, they've only scored 10 goals in 10 matches this season. They've really struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. They've been a great defensive team. They've only allowed 10 goals in that stretch, but maybe the saving grace for 901 FC right now, the Riverhounds can't figure out how to hit the back of the net.
Wide for Etu. Jimenez marks him. Fernando with a knockaway. Here's Marlin. Marlin with a long run. Marlin. Now Borzak. Borzak steps over. His shot is blocked by Suber. And Pittsburgh dodging another chance by Memphis.
Really back and forth soccer right now. A lot of opportunities for both teams. 901 FC getting that first goal, forcing Pittsburgh to kind of get out of their shell a little bit. Although I'm a little bit surprised, we're still early on in this match. I thought the Riverhounds still might try to sit more in their shell and get a goal maybe later in the first half or later in the second half. But you can see they really want this match. They want to continue to climb up the table.
Pittsburgh unbeaten in their last 7. Memphis unbeaten in its last 4. You were talking about Pittsburgh's offensive woes. They're 18th in conversion rate at just 12%. They are second in touches in the opponent's box, but they're also second in big chances missed, according to FOTMOB.
And usually, Pete Bob Lilly's got a striker. You hear a header there from Tyler Derrick. No offsides.
Ward plays it back to Derrick. Derrick to midfield. And that's got to be a foul on Danny Griffin as he tried to take Emerson Heineman to the ground.
See the Riverhounds being very physical. The captain, Danny Griffin. Saw the embrace there between the two captains, Danny Griffin and Akeem Ward. Such great competitors with a lot of respect for each other.
It's been a pretty strong rivalry, but it has belonged largely to Pittsburgh.
Pete, you mentioned it in terms of, we got a foul called there in terms of the Riverhounds not finishing their big chances, tops in the league in terms of big chances created, but that might be the one thing that Bob Lilly is missing this year is in terms of having a really dominant striker, right? A striker that can hit the back of the net. In all of his years of success, he usually has a striker that's dead-eye.
Borzak trying to turn. He's taken down, and wow, play on. Borzak looked like he was arm whipped to the deck, and there was no air in the whistle. Etu assesses his options. Ball played centrally and then turned away by Memphis momentarily, then headed back by Biasi. Biasi along the touchline. Riverhounds switching sides. Akeem Ward defensively for Memphis. That ball into space, let's give it away. Blackstock. Good work by Zach Duncan to get that right after Memphis turned it over. Cariaga. And you see Memphis's strategy, and we talked about it earlier, either go around or go over Pittsburgh. Don't go right at them because they are so stout defensively. You're just asking for trouble if you're trying to go into the teeth of their defense. So over or around are the primary options for Memphis tonight.
Especially right now, the Riverhounds playing so high up the pitch, much higher up than they're accustomed to playing. Usually they'll see them sit more men behind the half line and behind the ball. A lot of times getting 11 men behind the ball, but now we mentioned it before. 901 FC up a goal, forcing them out of their shell, and the Riverhounds really pressing high up the pitch and now keeping a lot of possession.
Sissoko with the header, but possession remaining with the Riverhounds. Possession at the moment is 50-50. These two teams establishing their rivalry when both were members of the Eastern Conference. Memphis going to the West this year with Eastern expansion. So they will only play once this year. Parada. This is well played. Blackstock running it down. Marked by Ward. Blackstock has an outlet. Suber. He's denied. Picked up again by Blackstock. Sample. Sissoko wins it in the air, but then kept in play by Rovira, and a big collision and a Pittsburgh foul. And two Memphis players ailing at the moment.
You see some of the turf come up there. Looked like Marlon was doing a great job in terms of his defensive effort, getting back to try to clear that ball. I'm not sure if the two players came together. You see on the replay here, oh, the turf just comes right up on Marlon Santos, and he's very lucky that he didn't suffer a serious injury there, and he careens into Zach Duncan, who's still down right now, getting checked on by the athletic trainer.
Langston Smith back out there. The initial indication from Velimir Stefanovic, we thought that there might have been a blow to the head. And they're going to get that little bit of turf tamped back down. With a very quick visit by Langston Smith, and you can hear Bob Lilly just put it in diagonally.
Just lump it in there.
Just throw it in there.
Bob Lilly, he's sick of the tiki-taka. He's just get into the box and we'll see what happens. Sometimes that's the most effective strategy, right? Especially when you're on the road. And yeah, the Riverhounds possessing the ball quite a bit, but you mentioned it earlier, Pete, in terms of them having some of the lowest passing percentage, but Bob Lilly doesn't really care about that. He wants to get it in the box as soon as possible and pick up second and third balls.
Yeah, they've had 8 touches in Memphis's box but have not been able to get anything to the back of the net. Marlon chips that in the air. Duncan settling it, but then mishandled by Jimenez. Yep, we're good. Got 3 other matches underway in the championship. We'll give you the full scoreboard during halftime. They are in halftime in Miami. Miami and North Carolina 0-0 at the moment. Indiana and Phoenix in Indianapolis, they are level at 1. Also halfway through, and Memphis looks like they're going to make some substitutions here. Borzak is going to come out. And Carson Vom Steeg will come into the match. And Knight Pickering will come in, and Cariaga, who got a start tonight, will go out. Cariaga, the Argentinian, in his 2nd season here with Memphis, made his 4th start of the season.
Interesting substitutions there, Pete. I'm a little bit surprised by those substitutions. Samuel Cariaga maybe not having the best of games, but certainly not having a bad match. Same with Dylan Borzak, was getting around the pitch a lot. It's causing quite a bit of havoc for the back line for the Riverhounds. Maybe he's, I'm sure Stephen Glass, he's seeing something different. Maybe he's fatigued, but especially since, you got 2 of your defenders on yellow cards, Oscar Jimenez and Sissoko on yellow cards. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw substitutions at half for them as well.
That might be why you have Carson Vom Steeg coming into the match.
And you can see 901 FC going 5 in the back as well to match the Riverhounds. We really haven't seen that too often, if at all, from 901 FC this season in terms of going 5 in the back. You see the 3 center backs for 901 FC, Lucas Turchi, Sissoko, Carson Vom Steeg, right all along the top of the 18-yard box. For Stephen Glass, you can see that his team has been absorbing a lot of pressure, which they'll continue to absorb a lot of pressure with 5 in the back, and they're sitting back right now, of course, with a goal up, but I think Stephen Glass just wants to be able to win headers, as you saw Carson Vom Steeg do right there.
Well done by Vom Steeg. Jimenez up the touchline for Fernando. Fernando chipping it forward, trying to link with Pickering, but a bit too far, and Parada comes out to play.
Pete, come to think of it, we heard Bob Lilly yelling, just get into the box. And if we could hear that, I'm sure Stephen Glass, who's standing 10 yards away, heard that. He's like, you know what? Let me get another center back in there to deal with some of these headers if you're going to lump the ball into the box.
So the other thing with Borzak, again, he did have a knock to the ankle this week, so he was fit to start, but you just don't know how well that ankle may be holding up. That is sent across the mouth of the goal, and it will be a goal kick coming up for Tyler Derrick.
And given that, and Stephen Glass looks down his bench and he sees Knight Pickering, one of the most talented young offensive players in the game. He said, well, you know what? What's the difference if I put Pickering in at halftime or if I put him in now? You know, Pickering has come in with a lot of energy and he'll continue to do so. But I'm sure Stephen Glass, he's just saying, you know, I might as well make these substitutions now.
And again, 901 FC is without Bruno Lapa tonight. He is not in the 18. No injury reported. As we work our way toward halftime. Bluff City Mafia very happy in the 7th minute when Marlon got the opener. And here's Marlon with the ball at his feet, but not able to manufacture anything out of that. We'll have 5 minutes of time added to the first half. It's also, I think, among the home matches, JJ, the warmest and most humid that we've experienced. It's not big time heat, but it is big time humidity. It is Memphis after all. Sissoko got it back, but then right back to Rovira. That's well done by Jimenez. Just trying to keep it in play, did not. So a throw in for Pittsburgh, but good work by Jimenez. Getting his 7th start of the season. Played last year for Louisville City. In fact, a Louisville City stalwart with over 200 appearances in purple. Von Steeg with the head. Will give and go. Dunk it. Another give and go. And now Ward. I think Memphis would do well with just a nice spell of possession here, just to take a little air out of this Pittsburgh attack, which has kept Tyler Derrick and the home club on their heels here, really since the half-hour mark.
There's been a ton of pressure from the Riverhounds. They're not really giving the center backs, Lucas Turchi and Sissoko, Carson Von Steeg, they're not really giving them a lot of time on the ball to get their heads up and pick out a pass. They want 901 FC to just lump the ball up the field so they can get the ball down and really lump it right back into the box for 901 FC. So it's been a really interesting match so far.
And good defensive work by Sissoko to get that away from Blackstock, who was closing. Sissoko played MLS Next Pro last year. Had 5 goals, 22 interceptions. A standout in that league.
5 goals as a center back. It's not bad at all, but you can see such a commanding presence in there, an aerial threat. We saw him earlier this year hit a bicycle kick. So he knows his way in and around the 18-yard box, but if 901 FC can get some free kicks, he's certainly a threat in the air.
Samples settled it, ball loose. Von Steeg, Fernando. Jimenez. Marlon running for it. Collision. But against Pittsburgh, if the ball is at your feet, you've got to make quick decisions. They close as rapidly as anybody in the championship. Von Steeg. That's the 3rd time he's gotten a clearance, winning it in the air. We're 3 minutes into the 5 minutes of added time.
It's proven to be a very good substitution for Stephen Glass. It's almost like he knows what he's doing, Pete. You see the Riverhounds trying to go over the top and get the ball into the feet, or not to the feet, just over the top, and get the ball into the path of Keziah Sterling and Edward Kizza up top. But Carson Stieg, the number 3, the center back for 901 FC so far, has stood up to the challenge.
Yeah, Bob Stieg has started all but one match this year. That's flicked on for Hindman, but too far. Biasi. Etu, and now Biasi again. Rovira. Here's Bob Stieg again. Why not again, Carson? Danny Hogan going to try a right channel. Suber. That'll be out for a goal kick as we are in the final minute of the first half.
See, Stephen Glass will be perfectly fine with that. Yes, the Riverhounds have been in the final third of 901 FC a little bit more than 901 FC has, but not a lot of dangerous opportunities. All we've seen so far is Carson Vom Stieg just winning header after header, and the Riverhounds trying to go out wide, but not getting a clean service into the box.
Both teams with 2 shots on target. Etu. Sissoko. Duncan settles it. Tried to get that ball through. It does not. One last chance for Pittsburgh here at the end of the first half. Suber. Intercepted. Now an opportunity for Memphis. Marlin lays it out for Fernando. Fernando into the 18. Fernando chips it back. Cleared by Sample, and that will bring us to the end of the first half. Marlin with his team-leading 5th goal 7 minutes into the match. That's all the scoring there has been. Pittsburgh dominating the run of play in the latter stages of the first half, but unable to find the back of the net. 2 teams riding considerable unbeaten streaks. Memphis 4 unbeaten, Pittsburgh 7 unbeaten. It's the home club with the lead, 1-0. Halftime at AutoZone Park, and 901 FC a 1-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. It was Marlin in the 7th minute. Memphis so far with a clean sheet against a dangerous Pittsburgh team. More halftime coming up in a moment after this timeout.
Still get it done. When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Traeger up over the top. Tristan Traeger. It's in.
Opportunity here. The hits and a goal.
The best nights start with Jägermeister. Made with 56 botanicals. Always served ice cold.
Take a miracle to come back from this. Heartbreaking end to the season. But what's this?
For the moments when anticipation
Clock's counting down. 5 seconds. 3, 2.
becomes celebration. Jägermeister. Meister the moment.
What a moment.
They're hungry for the women's game. They want to see women's soccer. They want to play women's soccer, and that's what we're building at the USL.
You can see it in my eyes when we walk past. Running every night, won't settle for less. Got me looking to the sky, got me feeling blessed. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest. Burning up inside of my chest. Got this fire burning up inside of my chest.
Looks great. Oh.
When termites show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Memphis 901 FC trying to extend a 4-match unbeaten streak here in USL Championship play. With JJ Greer, I'm Pete Pranica. Let's check out what's going on in the championship. Outside of tonight's match, AV Alta FC will join USL League One. They will play at the renovated Lancaster Municipal Stadium in Lancaster, California. And Indy 11, Sac Republic, and New Mexico United, they will take on MLS sides Atlanta United, Seattle Sounders, and LAFC in the Open Cup quarterfinals. And next up for Memphis 901 FC, JJ, we'll have it for you next weekend. Memphis travels to San Antonio to take on San Antonio FC, the third meeting between the clubs all time. In San Antonio FC, always a very, very tough side to deal with. I'll tell you that San Antonio at the moment, they have a record of 3 victories, 2 losses, and 5 draws on the season. Got some scores for you. We have 2 matches that are around halftime. From yesterday, Oakland Roots, a victory over FC Tulsa. Indy 11 taking out Phoenix Rising. Meanwhile, we've got Tampa Bay over Las Vegas, and a 0-0 draw between Lou City and Rhode Island. At the half-hour mark, San Antonio with a 1-0 lead over New Mexico United. And then coming up later on, Orange County and Loudoun United. We've got on the board for you right now. And, of course, we've got a 1-0 scoreline here in Memphis. Standings, I won't give you the stats. How about that first? Memphis being outpossessed 56% to 44%. And Pittsburgh with 5 shots. Both teams with 2 on target. And Pittsburgh with 4 corners. They have been, I think, the more dangerous team. And Memphis with 9 fouls and 2 yellow cards to defenders. That could play a role in the substitution pattern for Stephen Glass in the second half.
A lot of fouls in not great areas either, Pete. If you're fouling at midfield, okay, you take that, get some professional fouls, but a lot of fouls, within 30, 35 yards of your own goal, which, of course, is the attacking third. 901 FC just very fortunate. The Riverhounds just haven't been able to finish. Also very fortunate as well. We've had a Dylan Borzak save off the line, and Abdoulaye Sissoko, of course, almost with an own goal that was stopped only by the post. So 901 FC really probably pretty fortunate to be up 1-0.
Fortunate but happy to be up 1-0 at home. All right, let's get to the standings now and show you what's going on. Memphis is above the playoff line with 13 points. They are ahead on goal differential over Colorado Springs. But you can see what 3 points would do for you right now if you were able to get this going that way.
It's like 3 points, Pete. As it stands now, live standings will catapult you all the way into fourth place, top four. Of course, you mentioned you've got that Orange County game later on tonight against Loudoun, which, of course, Loudoun's in the Eastern Conference. So if you're 901 FC, I think you're hoping for a Loudoun victory. So Orange County doesn't leapfrog you there, but a big opportunity now for 901 FC to try to stay in that top four.
It is a big opportunity, but it is a big ask against a Pittsburgh Riverhounds team that was very dangerous in the latter stages of the first half. We're at halftime here in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. AutoZone Park, it's 1-0 to the 901. Halftime in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. You were looking live at AutoZone Park. 1-0 to Memphis 901 FC over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. First half highlights. We expected a real good match, and JJ, that's what we got.
So you see the first touch right there. Great first touch, great second touch as well as it ended up back in the net. Once again, not a lot of backlift from Marlon, just takes it right off the half volley.
And that cross saved off the line by Dylan Borzak. This was a big moment and a huge save. That header going right on target. Memphis with another opportunity here. Fernando can't quite get there. Parada does. The keeper for Pittsburgh, who's making his third start of the season. But again, so many opportunities. That across the face of the goal. Derek did not have to make a save. It was beyond his reach and off frame. But Pittsburgh just kept pressing and pressing. Memphis on the counterattack here. And anytime you have Marlon in space, the ball at his feet, you expect good things to happen. Couldn't get much lift on that, and it goes right to Peralta. And then this was very nearly the own goal. Sissoko took a touch, and the woodwork saved him and Tyler Derrick and preserved the clean sheet. Memphis, here's what they have coming up. They have had this move to the west. Their travel's been crazy. Monterey Bay, New Mexico, now San Antonio, and then a three-match home stand, Colorado Springs, Rhode Island, and New Mexico. So they'll have three at home, and they'll all come in the span of a week before they have to go west again to Las Vegas Lights. It's a very difficult travel situation for 901 FC because you're making multiple West Coast trips across a couple of time zones.
And that's why it's so important if you're 901 FC to pick up 3 points at home. It's always a challenge, of course, to pick up any points on the road. Typically, if you pick up a point, Bob Lilly will tell you if you pick up a point on the road, you're doing well. You typically want to pick up a point on the road and 3 points at home. So a real big mid-June there for 901 FC against the Switchbacks, Rhode Island FC, and New Mexico United. Of course, some tough teams there, but 901 FC, they're a really good side as they're showing you tonight. Up 1 goal against the Riverhounds. You want to pick up 3 points here at AutoZone Park.
You talk about those home and road splits. Pittsburgh has been good at home. They always have been 2-1-2. They have won only 1 match on the road as you look at Stephen Glass. That road win for Pittsburgh was 3-1 at Phoenix Rising. Memphis has been good wherever they've been, or at least they've been the same. They were 2-3 here at AutoZone Park, 2-1 when they are the away team. And for Stephen Glass, I think job one is trying to figure out a way to alleviate some of the pressure that has been applied by Pittsburgh, particularly late in that first half.
Well,
Memphis got the opener, but Pittsburgh, I think it would be fair to say, dominated run of play once we got past the 20-25 minute mark.
They really have, and I was a little bit confused by the substitutions, when he brought in Carson von Steeg and Knight Pickering, bringing on another defender without taking the 2 guys that are on the yellow card. I was a little bit confused with the substitution, but it turned out to be brilliant. He switched to 5 in the back, and I think Carson von Steeg won something like 10 headers, within about 10 minutes.
It seemed that it was about 10 headers. He definitely made an impact and helped to alleviate some of that Pittsburgh pressure.
So we'll see if Bob Lilly continues to lump balls into the box, into 901 FC's box. I think, Pete, you mentioned that Stephen Glass was looking for something to try to solve that. As I'm looking at Bob Lilly in the middle of the pitch right now, he's literally in the middle of the field right now talking to some of his players. Who's that? Sean Suber right there. Bob Lilly is spurring his guys on. Pete, I think he's ready to get out there and play himself. We got about 20 seconds for this match starts, and he's giving it to his side.
And we will have a substitution. Robbie Mertz will enter the match, and Danny Rivera will depart. Mertz, this is the first time he has featured as a substitute this year. He has been a long-standing Riverhound, more than 100 appearances in black and gold.
Pete, I was surprised to see him coming off the bench because, as you mentioned, I don't know if I've ever seen him come off the bench for Bob Lilly in all the years that he's been there. But, of course, even like Bruno Lapa for 901 FC, who's not in the side tonight, there's a lot of games. This has been a really heavy load of games when you consider USL Championship matches and US Open Cup matches, so players have to get rest somewhere, but there's no rest for the wicked. You see, Bob Lilly has seen enough, and Robbie Mertz is coming in at the half.
Mertz, former star at the University of Michigan, will start the second half. Memphis is 2-1-0 with a halftime lead this year. Sissoko back to play it for 901 FC. And the offside flag is up. Reminder that eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. eFootball is free to play, so download it now. Blackstock. Too much pace on that. Suber can't run it down. We mentioned that 901 FC will be taking on San Antonio. San Antonio is at New Mexico United, and San Antonio a 1-0 lead just past the half-hour mark. Fernando turns toward goal. Jimenez crossing. Oh, it's a goal! Jimenez, the sharp angle shot. Jimenez opens his Memphis account, and it's 2-0 for 901.
What a finish that was from Oscar Jimenez out of nowhere. Of course, he's sitting on the yellow card. Stephen Glass sticks with him, leaves him in the match. And it looks like that bet is paid off. What a finish that was from Oscar Jimenez. Near post, no angle. Looked up like he was about to cut the ball across the box to Marlon Santos. You see the great ball there out wide from Luis Fernando. And Oscar Jimenez looks across the box and just goes for goal. And boy, did it turn out right.
He had Marlon at the back post. Initially, I thought maybe he was going with a cross because there's just no angle there. But he beats Parada into the side netting. 2-0 to the home club.
Fantastic finish from Oscar Jimenez, the right back getting forward. What an important goal that was, Pete. We mentioned getting that second goal. Of course, before Pittsburgh gets there, it's going up 2-0 was going to be such a big goal, and there it is. That could very much end up being the game winner as we've seen Pittsburgh getting forward, but they haven't had a lot of luck.
Kizza laying it back. Chipped into the area. Dangerous here off the boot of Robbie Mertz.
See the celebration right there. You see what it means to Knight Pickering and Oscar Jimenez, the 901 FC fans. Such a huge goal. 901 FC knew. See the big celebrations there. They knew if they can go up multiple goals, go up 2 goals, it's going to be very hard for this Riverhounds team that has struggled this season to score goals. It's going to be very hard for them to come back.
But another set-piece opportunity for Pittsburgh. Low driver, Sissoko with the clearance. Mertz is offside.
And now 901 FC can really take their time. There can be in no rush to put this ball back in play. See Tyler Derrick coming over to take the free kick.
Very casual trot. Al Capone smashed the guitar. And he's got the Whoop That Trick t-shirt on.
Got to love that. And the hat, too, Pete, if you look at that closely.
Yeah.
The Whoop That Trick trucker hat
he's got
to match the t-shirt.
He's got the gear.
That's a fit check right there for you. Now I want to see they're putting on a show for him as well.
There are some matches where you are hard done, and Memphis has had several of those, but riding a 4-match unbeaten streak, trying to extend. They have never beaten Pittsburgh on this pitch. Pittsburgh has won the 3 previous meetings here in Memphis.
The difference, Pete, between now and the beginning of the season, you know, when 901 FC, they were going through that 5-game beaten streak, right? 5 losses on the trot. They were conceding goals and they weren't finishing, getting a lot of chances but not finishing. And now we're seeing the exact opposite. Maybe a bit of good fortune, but they also are putting the ball in the back of the net with not a lot of chances. And that could really serve 901 FC well as they progress through the season and especially into the playoffs.
Now, one of the things that Memphis did is they added some championship experience, and Jimenez is part of that. With all his great resume compiled with Louisville City. Foul on Zach Duncan.
And Jimenez had a slower start to the season. You know, he kind of struggled to integrate into the side, but we've seen it over the past few matches. He's really gotten his legs under him, and now it's culminated in a fantastic goal just out of nowhere. And he definitely meant that, ladies and gentlemen. He was not trying to cross the ball. He looked up like he was going to cross and then went for goal and scored, just rifled it at the near post. A great pickup for 901 FC.
Sissoko again. Outside of that errant touch by Sissoko that almost ended up in an own goal, I think he's had a real strong game on the back line.
He's continued to get better, you know, with each and every minute that this game has progressed. And I think adding Carson Vom Steeg and Lucas Turchi staying at the back line, you know, adding 3 center backs has given them even more confidence.
Good tackle there by Vom Steeg.
But Vom Steeg hasn't put a foot wrong since he stepped into the pitch.
Yeah, he's been very, very good. This will be Junior Eto to throw in. We pointed out Pittsburgh has struggled on the road this year. Only 1 road victory, 2 road losses, 2 road draws. And again, Vom Steeg, like you said, he's not put a foot wrong. He has been fantastic since coming on here late in the first half.
Really 901 FC, Stephen Glass, he's got almost an embarrassment of riches in terms of center backs. You know, you've got Lucas Turchi, who really can play all over the pitch, but I've just been so impressed with him as a left center back. Of course, he's so smart on the ball, and that left foot of his so powerful and so accurate as well. And you mentioned Sissoko a few minutes ago, such a commanding figure on the back line, and Carson Vom Steeg, also just another, you know, commanding player in the back line and tough as nails, seems to win everything.
Derrick. Fernando could not quite get to it. Sissoko outdueled in the air, but Memphis still with possession. Fernando, again, can't quite get to it. Ball into an open space. It's knotted down, just kept in play by Blackstock. Blackstock against Vom Steeg. Blackstock lays it back.
Once again, excellent defending from Carson Vomsteed. Kept him in front of him. Didn't allow it to go out of bounds as well for a corner kick.
Fernando dispossessed. Danny Griffin. Griffin lays it off. Kizza. Opportunity here. That left-footed shot does not get through and then cleared away. Turchi's been really good as well on the back line. Pickering battling for it, dealing with Robbie Mertz. Throw into the Riverhounds.
Still, 901 FC still has to be very aware of this Pittsburgh Riverhound teams, especially with the addition of Robbie Mertz. He adds a little bit of more of a finishing touch in the final third for the Riverhounds, which they're certainly going to need now, being down 2 goals in the second half.
I seem to remember Memphis having a 2-goal lead against Pittsburgh and losing 4-2. I'm not suggesting history will repeat itself, but
lest we forget.
Pittsburgh is one of those teams. I don't care what the record is at any given point in time. It is a club that you always treat with the utmost respect.
Oh, as soon as you let your guard down, that's when they're at their most dangerous. And Bob Lilly has not sat down this entire match. You can see the sweat on his brow there. It's a humid, warm evening down on the pitch, and he will not let his side just let down by any means. He's continuing to throw men forward, and as we see, we've got conversation here between Danny Griffin and the head official.
I'm not sure what that was all about. Warm and humid night, so Marlin trying to get a little refreshment. Team leader now with 5 goals and a knock to the nose for Pat Hogan. We got a lot of stuff going on here, and still a lot of soccer yet to be played. That's off Pickering and out. If you can't watch the match, you can turn on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesdays at 7 o'clock Eastern. My good friend Mike Watts. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the new Sirius XM app.
What a reader that was, Pete. Riveting. Riveting stuff.
You like that read?
I like that.
Yeah,
one.
That was good. I got to ask Mike Watts sometime how many events he calls a year. Because he calls soccer and football. He's a fill-in PA announcer at Madison Square Garden. He's everywhere.
Vocal cords of steel.
Yes, yes. And a lot of frequent flyer miles, I suspect, as well. And a good friend, and one of the better soccer commentators we have. Etu working his way free. The left-footed shot does not get through. It's blocked. A one-timer. That goes into a wall off the boot of Danny Griffin. Fernando. Is there a counterattack opportunity here? No, that's well played defensively by Bradley Sample.
Some nervy moments there for 901 FC. As we saw, I think that might have been Edward Kizza that skipped right past Oscar Jimenez, but good recovery defense from 901 FC. They're bending but not breaking.
Probably bending a little bit more than manager Stephen Glass would like. But to this point, they have been equal to the task, has the back line of 901 FC.
It's just the case in this match of 901 FC have finished and the Riverhounds have not. I mean, this game could very easily be 2-2. A tied-up match, but 901 FC have had that killer instinct inside the 18-yard box.
Memphis 3 shots on goal, 2 have found the back of the net. Hakeem Ward looking for a friendly face. Fernando. He's pushed down from behind. Just would have hoped for a whistle there. Turchi got that right. A good step in front. And Tyler Derrick playing it forward. Ward This possessed by Mertz. Mertz with a chip that's cleared by Vom Steeg. And Sissoko again winning it in the air. Salved by Jimenez. Marlin running. Collision. Whistle. No whistle. I thought I heard a whistle. Jimenez. Fernando. Luis trying to win it back. Can't. Getting really physical now. Griffin goes to the ground.
See the relentless pressure there from 901 FC. It's good defending as well. Desperate defending from the Riverhounds, but they stood up to the test as you saw Fernando was not going to leave that particular situation without anything, without something.
Jimenez remains on the ground. And athletic trainer Langston Smith has been waved on.
Tell you what, Langston Smith, he's earned his paycheck tonight, Pete.
Yes, he has. Langston Smith coming over from Colorado Springs Switchbacks. And it looks like Toulouse is going to enter the match.
Pete, I wouldn't be surprised if Toulouse was coming on for Sissoko at center back for 901 FC. Of course, Sissoko is on the yellow card, or Oscar Jimenez as well. As you see here, it looks like he's getting stretched out there. It might be a cramp. Jimenez also on the back line for 901 FC, also on a yellow card.
Toulouse, this will be his 8th match appearance, played last season on transfer to San Antonio FC. And so it will be Jimenez, who scored the second goal of the evening. He is going out, and Toulouse will enter the match. It was Jimenez with what I thought at first might be a cross, but it ended up in the side netting. The second goal of the match.
Brilliant goal. Good performance from Jimenez as well. Of course, he had the yellow card, but that was really probably the only wrong foot he put forward all evening, as he continued to get better throughout the match in terms of completing passes and defensive effort. And, of course, it culminated in that amazing goal. And now Toulouse will check in for him.
Turchi clears it all the way down to Parada. Parada making his 3rd start of the season. And a dangerous ball here. Vom Steeg out racing Sterling. Etu sends it in the area. Vom Steeg will concede the throw in. And Toulouse is waved on.
So he's just now been allowed to check onto the pitch.
Griffin maneuvering around Zach Duncan. Good double team there, however. Sample able to retain possession. Spirited battle there. Oh, and a takedown. And that will result in a yellow card.
Tell you what, it's a really smart foul there from Biasi to take the professional foul at midfield. Of course, you're in the yellow card, but 901 FC they were off to the races. As you saw, Marlon Santos was able to turn Biasi, and 3 or 4 901 FC players looked like they would have been in on goal. And I think Marlon Santos, of course, with the talent that he has, the vision he has, he would have found one of those 901 FC players. You saw he just kind of rolls Biasi, and Biasi takes him right down. You see Knight Pickering at the top of your screen there. Wanted that ball, but really smart foul there, professional foul. Earned yellow card from Luke Biasi.
Marlin running onto it, but is offside.
And Pete, I don't mind the offside there from Marlin. You see how aggressive that he's being. He continues to sprint. His fitness levels have been really amazing so far in this match, and really throughout the last 4 or 5 matches. It's very hot down there. There's a lot of humidity on that pitch. Players are losing fluids, taking in a lot of fluids any moment they can, but hasn't bothered Marlin so far. He continues to sprint up and down the offensive side of the field for 901 FC.
Vom Steeg. Fernando nods it down, cuts around. Fernando into the 18, lays it off, little give and go. Oh, a heading attempt by Heinemann. Could not get it on frame. A beautiful sequence by 901 FC. but not able to pay it off.
Beautiful football there from 91 FC. Maybe a little too cute from Fernando trying to pop it back to Emerson Hyndman. You saw the little flick there from Marlon, and Fernando trying to pop it back to Emerson Hyndman, who just couldn't get ahead on that ball. I would have loved to maybe have seen Fernando go for goal on that one, as we saw Oscar Jimenez do earlier, but some good football there from 91 FC.
Sissoko again winning it in the air. Marlon tapping it down, but losing possession. Mertz and an overlapping run by Etu. Etu turning the corner, but lost his footing. Memphis will concede the throw-in the 63rd minute.
Didn't think I would see this or say this, but 91 FC with 4 center backs in the match. You got Tulu in there, Lucas Turchi, Sissoko, and Carson Vom Steeg all standing strong on the back line for 91 FC.
Tulu clears it. Tracked down by Suber. Pittsburgh the edge in shots, 8-4. But the numbers that matter on the scoreline, 2-0 to the 901. We talked about the continued aggression of Memphis. Whoa, Marlon taken down. And again, no air in the whistle. We've got 2 players down, one from both sides. Second time Marlon has gone to the floor.
Marlon's taking a lot of punishment in this match.
Chip. And again, Memphis' back line, they have done a magnificent job in the air. And that's blocked out, and that will be a throw-in for Pittsburgh, and Marlon remains down.
So it looked like it was the follow-through from the Riverhounds player. The Riverhounds player got ball, it looked like, but the follow-through looked like there was a high boot there and caught the ankle or the right leg of Marlon Santos, who, once again, the athletic trainer for 901 FC, running out on the pitch.
Langston Smith in his first match with 901 FC is getting a lot of work tonight. And I thought I saw a yellow card in the hand of the referee. I wasn't sure if he was going to book somebody, but a lot of physical play and no booking at this point. So Marlon will have to come off momentarily. Well, one of the messages to Memphis 901 FC was, if you don't bring high intensity to this match against Pittsburgh, you're going to get your hat handed to you. And I think Memphis has been very good with their aggression, with their edge. Sometimes it's resulted in fouls. Vom Steeg, he has been sensational since coming on. Duncan, wow, along the touchline, great work there, and he wins a foul.
He was still going as well, Pete, and he wanted the advantage, but he still had a long way to go to get in front of goal. I think our center official, Stefanovic, has had a really good match so far. I think he's called a clean, fair game. He's allowed a lot of physicality. See, Zach Duncan he's been getting all around the pitch. Been able to get out of some really weird situations, as we saw right there.
And Pittsburgh making some more substitutions. Nate Dragish is coming on, as is Canardo Forbes. So Blackstock and Sample depart for Bob Lilly. So 3 substitutions have been made by Pittsburgh. Memphis has made 3 as well. Vom Steeg going long. And the foul to Memphis.
Canardo Forbes checking into the match for the Riverhounds. He's a Riverhounds legend. It's got to be said.
Riverhound for life, pretty much.
One of the best, if not the best, player in Riverhounds history. An old faithful for Bob Lilly. Of course, he's a real veteran now, getting a little bit long in the tooth. Been around for quite some time, but he's still got some good minutes on him on any given night, and probably will ask a lot of him tonight.
Pickering. Nice diagonal ball. Duncan, saved by Parada.
Really nice save. Strong, I believe, a left-hand paw there from Parada. He's had a nice match. A bit unfortunate to be down 2-0, but has stood his ground really strongly for the Riverhounds. Saw here in the replay, Zach Duncan trying to go for that near post top corner. Strong left-handed parry there from Parada.
Duncan thought he had the goal. It would have been his first here in Memphis.
Zach Duncan trying to just open up the body there and beat Parada at his near post, but Parada said, I'm not getting beat at my near post again.
Third corner won by Memphis tonight. Duncan will take it. Low driver, handled easily by Etu, but it's out for another corner. If Memphis were somehow to find a third here, I get the sense JJ would put this thing to bed.
I wouldn't be surprised if Knight Pickering got that third either.
Duncan a little bit more off this time. Headed away. Settled by Duncan. Duncan. Going to give him another corner. It'll be a throw-in, I think. Vom Steeg will handle that as we approach the 70-minute mark. Pittsburgh gets a clearance out of it. Sissoko. Hindman. Ward. Trying to get a through ball. Pickering. And into the hands of Parada.
It's a good idea there from Akeem Ward, trying to find Knight Pickering. The little through pass there. Pickering did about just as good as he could, trying to cut the ball back across the 6-yard box. We see in the replay here, but couldn't quite get enough on it, and Parada was there to collect.
Pickering has appeared in all 11 matches for Memphis. 6 of them now as a substitute. Griffin. Memphis trying to win their third match here on home ground. Foul on Hogan.
See Marlon, his arms extended there, saying, what more do I have to do? He's just, his body's taking a toll tonight. Lots of punishment. You see Pat Hogan right there. Just took the foul, kind of the professional foul there.
Yeah, Hogan at 6'4", Marlon at 5'8". Duncan. Vom Steeg moving forward. Toulouse. And now Fernando. Through ball. Vom Steeg. He's shouldered out of the way by Forbes. And Parada able to handle it. But as Pittsburgh put a lot of pressure on Memphis in the latter stages of the first half, Memphis now with pressure on Pittsburgh trying for a third to slam the door.
Some unfamiliar territory there for Carson Vom Steeg. We've seen him make clearances time and time again defensively, but we see him right there getting forward right on top of the 6-yard box, and it's a great tackle there from Conardo Forbes. Otherwise, it could have ended up for a goal for Carson Vom Steeg.
Turchi. Chested down by Danny Griffin. And that is chipped well out of play.
And then 901 FC back line will love to see that. They've held strong, bended but have not broken, and that'll be really demoralizing there from the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. A really wasted opportunity right there. You got the ball inside of 901 FC's attacking third, or defensive third, excuse me, and just an errant cross.
Ball into space, played by Griffin. Dangerous ball here. Etu crossing and offside.
Once again, another really solid line from 901 FC's back line. They're really connected. Once again, we have 4 center backs on the pitch for 901 FC. Turchi, Vomsteeg, Sissoko, and Tulu. Those 4 guys, and Akeem Ward as well, the left back for 901 FC. They spent a lot of time on that back line for 901 FC. That one looked really, really close, but I think it was a really solid line for 901.
So that is whistled down for offside. A score update from New Mexico. New Mexico United now 2-1 over San Antonio. Orange County home to Loudoun United, and no score there early on in that one.
Of course, Pete, if Loudoun United can get a victory there, 901 FC, so long as they hold on to this victory, it'll catapult 901 FC into the top 4.
And that is how quickly things can change when you add 3 instead of 1 or none. USL Championship is on CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches and expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and on ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com for the complete television listings. Glad you're with us on WMC Action News 5 Plus and ESPN Plus. He's J.J. Greer. I'm Pete Pranica. A hot and humid night in downtown Memphis. Pittsburgh came in unbeaten in their last 7 league appearances. Memphis unbeaten in their last 4. Kizza pleading for a handball. Memphis broke on top in the 7th minute, courtesy of Marlon with his 5th goal of the season. And then Oscar Jimenez opening his account in the 47th minute to double the lead. Parada. Sissoko. Memphis back line has ruled the air. Duncan, nifty move. Fernando wants to get it back to Duncan. Duncan going for a cross. It's deflected out by Hogan in a corner for Memphis.
Zach Duncan has been super impressive, especially over the past 15, 20 minutes. You see him kind of bending over there. Just lots of running. Now telling. I think that might have been the ball boy right there. Just easy now. Let us settle in. We've got the lead 2-0 up, 15 minutes left, but Zach Duncan has just been a stalwart in midfield for 901 FC. You see the 3 toes outside the left boot for Luis Fernando. Right to the path of Zach Duncan, who once again is just spurring his team on to close out this win.
Final quarter hour upon us. Duncan wants some water.
Somebody get the man some water. There's Langston Smith once again, Pete.
He's
everywhere. He's everywhere.
A little more humid here than it is in Denmark.
Hasn't phased him, though, Pete.
No.
Just so impressive. Really brave as well. No fear to make those runs. You know you're going to be hurting after, but Zach Duncan continues to dig deep.
Delightful young man. I've had the opportunity to chat with him. If you go to Memphis901fc.com, we've got a podcast episode up with him about his professional journey. He's endured a number of injuries in his professional career and now fully healthy. He's looking to have a big season.
901 have certainly have benefited from picking him up. Stephen Class, of course, knew what he was capable of, and he's beginning to show it. He's just gotten stronger and stronger with each game, and in this match in particular, with each minute.
A member of the grounds crew come out. I don't know if there was a concern about the turf.
It's a full club effort tonight, Pete, from the athletic trainers to the grounds crew.
Everybody's had a hand in this. All right, now we're ready for the corner. Back post, but too far. Headed away by Biasi, but kept in by Memphis. Sterling tried to head it, but it's Zach Duncan. Duncan double marked. Duncan trying to turn, physical battle, wins that. Fernando on the touchline, out. To your point, JJ, I think this is the best I've seen Zach Duncan play all year.
Oh, you can see him. He's just gotten stronger and stronger. And that's just his fitness levels, Pete. He's a really fit player, and now that he's healthy, he's able to trust that fitness and trust his lungs, trust his legs. But we've also seen the skill as well, as we see McKeem Ward, same type of player, just so strong every single match, just never stops sprinting. But Zach Duncan's been just very impressive in this match. He's starting to blossom as one of the better midfielders, central midfielders in the Western Conference of the USL Championship.
Hyman with the takeaway. Ball to the feet of Pickering. Now Fernando. Memphis moving forward. Fernando through ball. Pickering, and it's saved on the back line. Parada was beaten, but got some help from his back line, or otherwise Knight would have been saying good night to Pittsburgh.
Great through pass from Fernando right into the path of Knight Pickering. You mentioned it, Pete. Parada was beat, but good positioning from the center back, Pat Hogan, who sensed the danger and was able to intercept that ball before it crossed the line.
Another opportunity here. Fernando. Flag stays down. Fernando crosses over. Crosses headed over the bar.
It was almost too perfect for Knight Pickering there. What a ball that was. Whipped in across the 6-yard box from Fernando, and Knight Pickering was just sitting at the corner of the 6-yard box just waiting for it. It was rifled across, but he couldn't quite keep the ball under the bar.
Pierre Caillet is going to check in for Pittsburgh. And Pickering is going to rue that. I mean, that was delivered on a silver platter, and Pickering, I know, would love to have that back. Keziah Sterling off, Caillet on. Also, Babacar Dieng into the match. And I think Bob Lilly is just trying to preserve the legs of some of his players at this point. Hyndman with the clearance. Chested down by Marlin. Crossing over. Ball to the feet of Pickering. Pickering, and Parada comes out with the challenge. And Parada paying the price.
What a ball that was from Marlin. Right into the path of Knight Pickering. Split the defense, and Pickering just the second or first touch. Look at this pass right here. I think it's the first touch right there. Just let Knight Pickering down just a bit. As he careened into the ankle of Parata. Once again, another chance for Knight Pickering. I think we still got plenty of time left in this match. 10 minutes and some change, including stoppage time. I think Knight Pickering is going to get another shot at it.
Would not surprise me in the least. Really like the effort of Memphis, even after going up 2-0, to continue to apply pressure. There was no backing off, because I think anytime you back off against a Bob Lilly coach team, you open yourself up for bad things to happen.
You got to go after it. I mean, that could be applied to any game, but you mentioned it, Pete, especially against the Bob Lilly side. We see Zach Duncan here with the skill, the sombrero, popping it over the Pittsburgh defense and just continuing to get production out of Zach Duncan. But, Pete, that's also what finishing does for you as well. That just really lifts up the energy level, right? It gives you belief, you know, when you can finish chances. As we saw here, a little piece of skill from Zach Duncan. He's looking at it, pop, right over the top of it, too, there. It's been so impressive. Impressive performance from Zach Duncan. Pete, earlier in this season, you know, 901 FC, they were working hard, getting a lot of chances, but not finishing right, and it was demoralizing. You could see it in the faces, sometimes in the body language of them, but when you got guys like Marlin and this man, Zach Duncan, continuing to finish, it just really lifts you up.
Marlin, shot from distance. That's blocked. Kept by Hindman. Now Pickering. And that last sequence was triggered by a takeaway by Marlin, who's taken a physical beating tonight. Forbes. Great ball here to DN. Lays it back, and that shot going to roll well wide.
It's a good tackle there from Sissoko.
But it did take a touch, so a corner for Pittsburgh.
Canado Forbes. See him get the ball roughly 20 yards outside of goal. That's not the man you want in that position if you're not a 1FC, but a lovely touch there from Sissoko.
Etu, left-footed shot. That's headed away by Turchi. It was headed toward the goal. Kaye, previously played with New England Revolution 2, wearing the number 44 shirt. That's chipped for DN, and that shot well over the bar.
Just no production from Pittsburgh Riverhounds, especially in the second half and the final third. And really, we got to give credit to Stephen Glass switching to 5 in the back. It's just really limited the opportunities of Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I think Stephen Glass saw in the first half, sure, they're getting the ball, they're getting chances, they're getting the ball in the final third a lot, but they're not finishing. And Bob Lilly just wants to lump balls into the box. Might as well put some big defenders back there, and they sure have done the job in the second half.
Because it really seems, JJ, that Pittsburgh has been out of ideas when they get in the final third. It's one thing to get the ball into the 18. It's another thing to have an idea of how you want to get it from the 18 into the back of the net.
And you can see them become increasingly more frustrated as they've run out of ideas. They don't have that killer right now up top. The Riverhounds don't, in terms of having that striker that's just going to make something out of nothing. And I think Bob Lilly will certainly be looking for that as the season progresses.
Only 10 goals in 10 league matches this year for the Riverhounds. And only 12% conversion rate on their opportunities. Bob Lilly coaching till the end.
See, he's just continuing, just early and behind, just continue to get it over the top. Only about 5 minutes left in regulation. Your side is down by 2 goals away from home, and Bob Lilly, I don't think he sat down all match.
No, you're right. This is the most active I think I've seen him in the technical area. Vomsteeg again in the air. Duncan can't get it away from Kizza. And there's a long ball into space, and Derek is just going to let it bounce to his feet. Dean's going to say hello, introduce himself.
You mentioned it earlier, Pete. It's another great asset of having Tyler Derrick. He's so calm, so solid in the back line, and when it's game-winning time to waste some time, he can do it with the best of them.
As you pointed out earlier, MLS veteran. Solid shot stopper, and when you talk about the strength of this Memphis club, part of it is the back line. And you don't have a strong back line unless you have a strong keeper that can organize that back line.
You're exactly right. That communication, that organization is another huge part of the game, and he can do that. He can also make the saves when needed as well.
Toulouse clears it.
It's really a formidable back line for 901 FC when you see the size of Vomsteeg and Toulouse, Sissoko, and Turchi. Really intimidating.
Ball whipped in. That's still alive for Pittsburgh. One-timer is wide of the mark by Canardo Forbes.
If there's anybody that can do that one time across the body, it's Canardo Forbes. 901 FC very fortunate that shot didn't end up on target. You see Forbes shaking his head. He expects himself to at least hit the target there. But 901 FC, Pete, we mentioned it earlier, this game might seem like it's over, but it's still pretty far from over. If the Riverhounds happen to get a goal within the next couple of minutes, it's going to be game on.
Forbes has been Mr. Riverhound, the longest tenured Riverhound. Also had 3 seasons with the Rochester Rhinos where Bob Lilly was coach.
So Bob Lilly, Canado Forbes, they've never been apart, Pete. Ever since Canado Forbes has been in this league, the USL Championship, they've stuck together. And Lilly, whether when he was with the Rhinos and continued to bring the same ideas to the Pittsburgh Riverhounds, they've been very successful ideas in terms of defensive first and really having that killer instinct in front of goal.
Couple minutes plus stoppage time, all that's left. Danny Griffin, no one to get on the end of that. Goal kick for Tyler Derrick. 901 FC will gladly take that. Tyler Derrick will casually walk over and get another ball. Orange County and Loudoun United still scoreless in the 19th minute in Orange County. Again, if Memphis can see this one out, and if Loudoun were to take care of business against Orange County, Memphis could find themselves in a top 4 position. Still a lot of soccer yet to be played, but when you consider that Memphis dropped 5 straight matches in a row, it's been a rather quick ascendance up the table.
And that's how fast, a few solid results, that's what it can do for you, catapult you up the table. Now, 901 FC has probably benefited from the fact that the sides ahead of them, didn't get hot and win games, but 901 FC have beaten some of those teams as well. So it just shows you the roller coaster that this season can be and that the USL Championship can be.
And look at the savvy play of Tyler Derrick. Just kind of dribbling it backwards, and he's going to just enough to take some time off the clock, but not enough to warrant a caution for time wasting.
It does 2 things. Of course, it wastes precious seconds off the clock, but it's also demoralizing for the other side as well. He's making them chase after you. Spend that little bit of extra energy chasing after a ball you're not going to get, and then you got to get back in position as well if you're a Riverhound. So once again, just some great gamesmanship by the goalkeeper Tyler Derrick.
And you saw Carson Vom Steeg with the throw in, subbed in late in the first half, 6 minutes of added time. But you saw Vom Steeg check in very, very late in the first half and has really done a very good job. His work rate's been very high. He's been winning a lot of aerial battles. That'll be a goal kick for Pittsburgh.
Vom Steeg really changed this match, Pete. Although 901 FC was winning, the tide was really starting to turn in favor of the Riverhounds, and got to give it to Stephen Glass as well for seeing that and making the substitution before half, not waiting for halftime, putting in Knight Pickering and Carson Vom Steeg, who seems like he's won every single ball. He certainly hasn't been beat 1v1. He's also been good offensively as well. We've seen him get forward a couple times.
Well, I talked to Stephen Glass earlier this season about the whole theory of when you make substitutions, because there were times last year where you were thinking like, well, this would be a time for a substitution. And I asked him about his thought process, and he said, I'm thinking at this moment, does this guy give me something more or something that we don't have? And I think Vom Steeg certainly gave 901 what they needed at that time after absorbing a tremendous amount of pressure from Pittsburgh late in that first half.
Pete, we saw earlier this year as we got another substitution.
So I believe this will be Noe Meza. Will come in for Marlin. And Alvaro Quezada will be in for Luis Fernando. So Fernando out, Quezada in. Marlin got the home side on top in the 7th minute with his 5th goal of the season and accepting congratulations. a physical beating. He definitely absorbed that tonight, but produced for the home club. And Memphis just a few minutes away to getting their record back to 500 at 5-5-1 and 16 points. How far up the table they will go, we'll have to go deep in the night to figure that out. Again, Orange County and Loudoun United, they are scoreless at this moment.
901 FC stock is certainly rising, Pete. Saw it was in the gutter earlier this season, but you saw the bones were there. The side had really good structure, right? Really good bones. So now it looks like we might see a yellow card now for time wasting for Quezada, who just checked into the match. It's got to be one of the fastest yellow cards that you'll see. Even Quezada kind of sticking his arms out like, what's the problem here? But 901 FC certainly in very good form. The side really starting to gel.
Vom Steeg, and ball got through, but not where he wanted it to go. Quezada, bicycle kick attempt by Meza. Meza making his 8th match appearance, all in reserve. They've been playing with Union Omaha. Scored 21 goals across 2 seasons. Turchi, physical battle there with DN.
You mentioned it, the physical battle. 901 FC have really done a great job of matching the physicality, the intensity, if not exceeding the Riverhounds, who typically do that to other teams, right? But Lucas Turchi and company have just done a great job of having a warrior-type mentality.
So let's talk about this. Unless there is a Riverhounds goal here deep in this one, it will be the 5th time they have been shut out this season. Now, having said that, remember that they started the season 0-3. They have not been kept off the sheet in league play since a 0-0 draw at Rhode Island in April.
A little bit of that is just unfortunate for the Riverhounds, as we saw a save off the line from Dylan Borzak, and off the post, almost an own goal from Sissoko. Although it would have been an own goal, wouldn't have really have been one of their players scoring. But 901 FC, especially ever since Carson Vom Steeg checked into this match, we keep going back to it towards the end of the first half, just had a really, really solid performance and haven't allowed the Riverhounds to see too much light of the day.
And according to what I'm seeing on my stat monitor, Pittsburgh has the edge in expected goals. They have outshot Memphis 11-9, but only 3 of those 11 have been on target.
I think most of that probably happened, in the first 30, 40 minutes of this match. It's really ever since then, it's been all 901 FC.
Quick opportunity, Pickering. That shot by Meza is blocked. Quezada. Goal kick for Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh's 7-match unbeaten streak will come to an end tonight, unless something unbelievably crazy happens here. It will also be the first time the Riverhounds have lost a match in the state of Tennessee. We mentioned it earlier. They are 3-0-0 against 901 FC here at AutoZone Park. They played twice in Nashville when Nashville was part of the USL, and they drew both of those games. Pittsburgh just trying to get on the score sheet now, and it looked like there was a handball. Memphis was calling for it, and full time has been sounded. Memphis 901 FC 2-0 over Pittsburgh Riverhounds. The first time that Memphis has defeated Pittsburgh here in AutoZone Park. Well, the fans will be treated to post-match fireworks. They were treated to, I think, really a magnificent performance by the home club tonight. We'll tell you who the man of the match is, and we'll wrap it up in a moment. 2-0 to 901 FC. Well, Memphis 901 FC now 16 points, a +4 goal differential, 5-5-1 on the season, 2-0 over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. First ever victory for 901 FC over Pittsburgh on this pitch. Luis Fernando celebrating, but our man of the match, no doubt, Marlon, his 5th goal of the season. Got the home club on top in the 7th minute. Absorbed a physical beating tonight and was just brilliant throughout. He is really one of the engines that makes this team go. This didn't end up in a goal, but he was all over the pitch, and with his speed and technical ability, he's always someone to watch out for. And there's Marlon, the settle, and a half volley, back of the net. And that's all the home club would need tonight. Marlon, the Brazilian, with his 5th goal of the season, our man of the match. Memphis got a great job from their back line tonight. They were outpossessed severely. Shots even. Pittsburgh, multiple opportunities with corners. But what's interesting, JJ, I'm trying to remember if there was a free kick, really, for Pittsburgh in the second half, after it seemed like they had a dozen set-piece chances in the first half.
And really, you can credit that to the tactical change that Stephen Glass made, putting in Carson Vomsteeg and letting him go 5 in the back with 4 center backs. And then, of course, Akeem Ward as a left back there. But any cross, any danger that came into the box from the Riverhounds was quickly cleared from that back line. Carson Vomsteeg, Lucas Turchi, Sissoko in particular were just beasts in the back for 901 FC.
And we are looking at the field, and downstairs, all the players, they're dousing each other with water. They are thrilled. This is a signature victory. I mean, your last 2 home matches, you've beaten Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. That's big stuff.
Huge wins, and you go from 8th place to potentially 4th place into the top 4. Of course, that depends on the Loudoun United Orange County Soccer Club result this evening, but even still, you're continuing to climb the standings. You're getting these big victories, and you're winning different kind of ways. Tonight, you won it with good finishing and great defense.
So Memphis wins it tonight. And just to update you, Orange County and Loudoun United still 0-0 at the half-hour mark. For J.J. Greer and the rest of our terrific crew here at AutoZone Park, I'm Pete Pranica. Thank you so much for watching USL Championship Soccer. Memphis 901 FC, now 5-5-1 on the season. Marlon, the man of the match, with his 5th goal, and the home club wins it 2-0 over the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Thanks for watching, and good night from Memphis.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.